Hey everyone, welcome to another Creative Tutoring Ideas tutorial. In today's video, we're going to look at how to create the paper cutout effects we made a while ago, but this time we're going to be using an open source program, Blender. So this is especially great if you don't have After Effects because anyone can download Blender for free. So, without further ado, we'll get into it. Just a reminder that to create this effect, you will need to film on a green screen. Like I mentioned last time, we just simply put a green sheet on our fridge and that worked really well. So to get started, open up Blender first of all, and we're going to go to File and New. We're going to want to reload Startup File. Okay, so we're going to want to go straight up to where it says Default up the top left hand corner here, and click on our Choose Screen Layout and select the compositing window. So now we're going to want to check Use Nodes and Backdrop. We can delete our render layer because we're not going to be doing any 3D animation, so we won't need this, but we will need our composite. So we can hit Shift A, and that will allow us to search for the node we want to add, and in this case we want to add a movie node. So just type in movie, and here we go, movie clip. Great, so now just drop that anywhere, zoom in a bit and click open. So we can select our movie clip. So now I've already got mine ready, so here it is. Alright, now because we've clicked backdrop, if we control shift click on our clip, we will actually be able to see it. Hitting V to zoom out and Alt V to zoom in. So V to zoom out, Alt V to zoom in. Okay, that's about good. Now what we're going to want to do is we're obviously going to want to key out the green. So we can search again and type in keying. Okay, there we go. Now, as you can see, it's keyed out all the white in the screen, which is not what we want. So we're going to click on our color here and select the pin drop tool and select anywhere on the green. Okay, now it's not very clean. What we can do is adjust our clip black setting, because that will give us a bit more control. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Might just need to drop the clip white down a bit, maybe to 800. It's still not super clean, so we can adjust our edge kernel a little bit. Mainly just try and play around with some of these different values here and find what works best for your footage, and that looks alright. So obviously we're going to need to mask out our background, but how do we do this? Well, let's change our window. So click next to composition and drop down to motion tracking. Now right here in the bottom where we see open, there's a little icon here which says browse movie clip to be linked. So let's link our footage we've already imported, and as we can see there it is nicely, and we've got this tab because we're in motion tracking, but what we can do is click it and change it to mask. Now to create a mask, simply control click, so control click and continue control clicking for each new point of the mask. And similar to After Effects, you can curve and get it whatever you feel like you need, but you don't need to worry too much for this thing. And Alt C, click Alt C on your keypad to finish the mask. Now let's rename it. I'm going to call this paper mask, but you can call it whatever you like. Let's change our tab back to compositing, and now let's go Shift A, search, and we're going to search for mask. So here we go, first one, and now we can click this little mask icon, and there's paper mask. So now we're going to want to plug this into garbage map, and now you can see it's masked, but it's not doing what we want it to do. So to fix this, we're going to click Shift A, search for an invert node. Now once we put this in, you see there is our character nicely green screened out. Well, now it's time to create the paper cutout effect. So what we can do is we can hit B to select our 4 nodes here, and then hit Shift D to duplicate them. So essentially what we're doing is duplicating the layer. Blender doesn't really have layers as such, but they do have a node which essentially works as a layer for us, and that is hitting Shift A. We're going to look for the alpha over node. Now I just plug it into here, and you can see we've got two areas where we can put an image in. Well, these essentially work as layers. So we've got the one here image that is underneath, and the one on here image that is on top. So we want this first green screen person to be our top layer, so just move that down. And we want this other image to be our bottom layer, so we put it here. Okay, now what we want to do is, obviously there's no paper cutout effect, so we'll hit Shift A, search, and we're going to add in a curves, RGB curves, yep. Just drop that in between the keying and the alpha over, and then what we can do is we can drag this right up till it's nearly maxed out. This will make our background image nearly completely white, but it's not a very good effect at the moment. We can fix that by clicking on the Dilate Erode button to increase the effect. And as you can see, that is a pretty nice paper cutout effect. But you probably want to add a background, so what you can do to add a background is, once again, drop in essentially a new layer by going Shift A, search, alpha over. Drop in our alpha over. Make sure that this layer is set to the top because we're going to want to add a background image. Hit Shift A, and we can search an image, and we can open up an image. So I was just thinking of using a printer. You can drop that in underneath. Now you can see here that it's kind of looking really strange. The reason for that is we've actually got to take our pre-multiply value and drag it up to 1. Okay, that's good. And obviously you can hit Shift A and add in a scale node to make our foreground image bigger. So I just double the size of our character, and there we go. And there is our finished paper cutout effect made in Blender. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you have any tutorials you'd like to request, please feel free to do so in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.